This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is a Wilson & Miller 95mm shutter lock. This lock is one of many Chinese copies of this lock, the IFAM Hunno 80, which is a very well-made lock with a hardened steel body, a nice thick spinner that guards a precision brass core, and lots of security pins inside. I thought this Wilson & Miller may be different from the other Chinese copies because it specifically advertises that it has a hardened steel body and a precision brass cylinder. And I lent some credence to those claims because the MSRP on this lock is very high, over $100. And if you look at the listings on eBay and Amazon, you see them listed for $50, $60, $75. So I thought I was getting a bargain when I picked this up for 20 bucks. But it turns out this is no different from any of the other Chinese copies and is not particularly well made. And unfortunately, it's also very easy to pick open. So that's what we're going to try to do right now. You can see this lock takes a dimple key, and can I find the keyhole? There we go. Works nicely, no problems there. Interestingly, this key has 7 cuts on it, and I tried picking this before I turned the camera on, and I was only able to feel 6 pins. So either there is a pin inside that's damaged, or there's more cuts on this key than the lock would require, which is actually not all that uncommon with Chinese locks. So let's get to picking. Let's get some tension in here. Get our dimple pick in and start hunting for binding pins. 1 is loose, 2 is loose, 3 is loose, 4 is loose, 5 is binding. Got a click out of 5. 6 is binding. Got a click out of him, pulling back. I think I'm stuck on 4. Got a click out of 4. Little click out of 3 when I pulled back. Stuck on 2. Okay, I was stuck on 2 and it's not binding anymore. Now number 1. Okay, 1 still loose, 2, click out of 3, some movement on the core, 4, 5, 6, back to the beginning, 1's binding, and we got it open. Okay, that did take a minute or so, and unfortunately, the video does not capture just how sloppy this lock is as far as tolerances go. I wish I had my dimple rakes. Unfortunately, I lent them out because I have a feeling this lock would rake very, very easily. So let's take this apart and see this precision brass core that was advertised. Okay. Let me get my pinning tray over here to dump some parts into. There's the shackle. Okay, we have the core that fell out, an actuator, and a whole bunch of ball bearings and locking lugs. Okay, let's take a close look at this core right here. Obviously, this is not brass. On the front, we have an anti-drill plate. Let's get a file and check to see if that's hardened. Okay, I'm digging into it pretty easily. Let me give you a close-up of that little notch. So you can see if it is hardened, it was not very well hardened because this file digs into it quite easily. Still operates as a spinner fairly well, so it has that going for it. Let's also check this lock. I did a really tiny little file cut before, but let's just do one in a place that's easy to see so you can all see just how hardened this thing is. So you can see not hardened at all. If it was hardened, this file just would have skated over the surface. Okay, moving on to the quote, precision brass core. You can see, let's lock this guy back up. You can see it looks like it has an aluminum outer housing and probably aluminum on the inside as well, maybe zinc on the inside. I don't see any way to take this apart. And if we zoom in, my guess is that this very last pin or the very first pin is not actually an operating pin, but actually a retainer for the core. And it looks like all of them are soldered over, so we're not going to be able to disassemble this at all. In any case, clearly not the precision brass core that was advertised, not the hardened lock body that was advertised, and certainly not worth the money that they are charging for these things. So that's all I have for you on this Wilson & Miller 95mm shutter lock. If you have any questions or comments about it, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.